This news update is brought to you by
Grab somebody and tell them hello. Your happiness will be connect to flow. Smile and cheer because that is we flow. Grab somebody and tell them hello. With your hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air, hands in the air. This is how we flow, yeah. Grab somebody and tell them this is how we flow.
This is the Barbados Today evening news update for Friday, November the 13th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Something has to give. That's the view of political scientist Tennyson Joseph regarding the ongoing dispute between Christchurch West MP Maria Agard and her constituency branch. In the latest development, the Barbados Labour Party's highest body has agreed to summon Dr. Agard to answer a series of disciplinary charges. The National Council took the decision at a meeting last night. The charges are being brought under Rule 81 of the party's constitution. Barbados Today asked Joseph for his view on the matter.
What I find interesting in this whole situation is that if you look at the Maria Agard in and of herself, she's relatively a first-time parliamentarian, relatively green, and she's acting in a way that suggests someone of tremendous political power. So obviously, if I were to make a very blunt assessment, I would say she's politically naive and a little bit kamikaze in the way she's approaching whatever the issue is.
Two teenagers who were remanded for serious bodily harm in connection with the stabbing death of Brinsley Warde last month are now being charged with murder. The new charges were read to them when they reappeared in court today. St. Michael residents Nikolai Matthew Thomas and Nishon Andre Prescott, both 18 years old, were originally charged with causing serious bodily harm to Warde on October the 9th with intent to maim, disfigure, or disable him. In more news from the courts, a Jamaican woman will have to pay a fine of $50,000 forthwith or spend the next 2 years in prison following her conviction on drug charges. 43-year-old Donier Hibbert appeared at the Oistins Magistrates Court, where she pleaded guilty to possession with intent to supply, trafficking, and importation of 2 kilograms of cannabis. Hibbert arrived by air from Jamaica on Thursday after a police dog raised an alarm about her luggage. She was referred to customs, where 4 packages containing the illegal drugs were discovered. She was therefore arrested and charged by members of the drug squad. Primary school students are being urged to engage in healthy activities. The advice from the island's head of state, Sir Elliot Belgrave, as he addressed students and staff of the Reynold Weeks Primary School this morning. In an apparent reference to 2 stabbings which resulted in 2 boys being injured this week, the Governor General also called on students to desist from using weapons and stay away from drugs and bad company.
Keep away from drugs. I'm not accusing any child here of being engaged in drugs. But what I say today is, if you haven't started yet, don't start now. Keep away from drugs. Do not use, this is very relevant, do not use sharp-edged weapons. Keep out of bad company. Do not be led astray into joining gangs or living on the block. Do not permit anyone to use you or to abuse you. Seek always to engage in healthy pursuits like scouting and playing football, cricket, and gardening. You live in St. Philip, or the majority of you do, and there's no scarcity of land in St. Philip. Do not steal, do not use obscene language. Learn to read good books, and by so doing it will improve your minds.
Sir Elliot also calls on students to be diligent in their studies.
Continue to work hard at your studies if you want to do well. There are no shortcuts. You have exams to do in May next year. Start working on them now. Don't wait until January or February to prepare your work. Start doing your work now. Be respectful to your parents or your teachers. learn to respect yourselves, because if you don't learn to respect yourselves, you can't expect anybody to respect you. Pride and industry should be your watchwords. Take pride and industry in yourselves and in your work, and help your parents about the house. Do not spend all your time watching television or watching whatever else your people like to watch when their parents not keeping an eye on them.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
In news from the region now, Dominica will host a donors meeting next week as the island seeks financial and other resources in its rehabilitation efforts following Tropical Storm Erica. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, who just returned home from a visit to Asia, told the news conference the meeting aims to inform the global community of the island's continued efforts of recovery. The donors meeting is normally held in Barbados, but Skerrit says he is pleased that Roseau is hosting the talks this time. He added that China has already committed to funding the reconstruction of West Coast roads and bridges damaged by the storm. Internationally now, at least 18 people have been killed in several shootings in the French capital of Paris, as well as explosions at the Stade de France. At least one man opened fire at a restaurant in the 11th district, causing several casualties. French media say at least 15 people have been killed near the Bataclan Arts Center. There are also reports of up to 60 people being held hostage. 3 explosions are also reported outside a bar near the Stade de France. France were hosting Germany in a friendly, and the match continued. It has now ended. Reports say French President François Hollande was watching the match and has been moved to safety. The BBC spoke to one eyewitness.
There was a shooting. I think we were told it was some people in cars. They opened fire on the bar. It's a lot of people. We're being led out of the building right now by police. So apologies if I have to cut off early. There's a lot of dead people. It's pretty horrific. To be honest, it's a little bit difficult to have this conversation right now. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but you are safe now. But just describe. So, were you sitting in the bar? Just which restaurant, which bar, and was it your understanding that this was a drive-by shooting?
That's what someone told me. But I was at the back of the bar, so I couldn't see anything. I just heard the gunshots. People dropped to the ground. We managed to put a table over our head to protect us, and just hold tight there until it finished. And we were sort of held up in the bar because the pile of bodies in front was too much for my wife to walk over. So.
And finally, the Pentagon says it is reasonably certain that a U.S. drone strike in Syria has killed the Islamic State militant known as Jihadi John. Colonel Steve Warren said Thursday's attack in Raqqa had hit the intended target, but it would take time to formally declare that we have had a success. Mohammed M. Wazi, a Kuwaiti-born British militant, appeared in videos of beheadings of Western hostages. More in this BBC report.
At first known only as Jihadi John, in a series of ghoulish videos posted online, he beheaded hostages and taunted the West.
I'm back, Obama, and I'm back.
Once he was unmasked as Mohammed Mwazi, it was only a matter of time. In a joint US and British operation last night, he was targeted in a drone strike and is now believed to be dead.
We know for a fact that the weapon system hit its intended target, and that the personnel who were on the receiving end of that weapon system were in fact killed.
In Downing Street, the Prime Minister said targeting Mwazi was the right thing to do.
That's the news. There's more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Flow TV or Mix 96.9 FM for more news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Good evening.